The physical talent, yeah, it's probably about the same. But you be around this league long enough, you realize that everyone's big, strong, fast. And it's not just run 4-3, jump high, whatever. If that's the case, DK would be the best player in the league, right? So, or be the best receiver. It's just as physically talented as anybody. I think Jackson upstairs is the best. But either here nor there, if Ken is the best, that's a problem. That's how you go like 6-11 or something like that with like the 21st best offense or something like that, which is how people start getting fired.
Isn't the point though that if really that all of those players could have exceptional seasons? Jackson Smith-Njigba could be amazing, but the offense, if they're trying to run the ball a lot, maybe he's not quite the best player on the offense. Charles Cross could have a great year. Gray Zabel could have a great year. The offensive line could be competent like Raskin, and that might just be enough for Ken Walker to have a really prolific season if he stays healthy. And then the offense is performing at a higher level than perhaps many people expect. Ken Walker is the best player and is producing fantastic results, but the team's still succeeding and a lot of other players are playing well. It's just that maybe Ken's playing especially well. And therefore, you're not just a 6-win team. I don't see how Ken Walker being the best player on offense means they're a 6-win team. I could easily imagine Seattle having a fantastic offense driven through Ken, combined with a great defense, that helping Sam Darnold, and that being the recipe for maybe a 13-win season.
Yeah, it depends. I can see like in the scenario I'm talking about, you end up with an offense kind of like the Falcons last year, where like Bijan was really great and their offensive line was like okay, but it was clear like Bijan was their best offensive player and that like just didn't get them anywhere. Now obviously Kirk was buns, so that factors into that as well. Like even like the Eagles, I don't think their best player on offense was Saquon. So I guess I may have a higher standard too for who's the best player. Like I think it was Lane. I think it was their best offensive player. I do think like it's somewhat the really really good offenses generally like even a year where you have like barring a couple of those Derrick Henry Titan seasons maybe like usually someone up front is whipping ass if you are like elite. You can be like okay like that Falcons offense and have like a skill guy be your best dude. I think like last year they had several 1,000-yard receivers and Bijan went crazy. But like skill guys being their best players ultimately was part of their issue. Again, with Kirk, maybe that's not the best example, but you guys get what I'm saying. I hope.
Yeah, it's kind of a fun debate, honestly, because you guys are both convincing for me. I mean, I think about even Christian McCaffrey. People would say he was the offensive player of the year. He was the best player on offense. Nah, not really. Like Trent Williams was their best player. And
look at when he was the best in Carolina. Like that year, he had 1,000 rushing and 1,000 receiving. That offense, I don't even think was like above average. I think it was 2019 season. He did both of those. It was like an offense.
I think though that there's probably different interpretations because I think Rob and I are thinking about it in one way, which is he could be the most productive or perceived to be the most valuable player. He might not be the best player. Like, because I do think, I think for Ken Walker to be the player that Rob's talking about and that I'm imagining, either John Benton or Marshawn Lynch, one of those two has to sit him down and say, look, the same conversation that Tom Cable had with Marshawn Lynch, where Marshawn Lynch, we all know, like nobody doubts how good Marshawn Lynch was. But there was a literal before and after when Tom Cable sat down with him before that Dallas game and said, dude, look, you have got to hit it here at this point. And he was a different player after that. And Marshawn will tell you the same thing. And if John Benton can't convince him, I would hope Marshawn could, because if he does that, and then you've got, I don't know if you saw this today, Mike, the way I did, but I thought Charles Cross and Gray Zabel had a very good day today. Like I thought the reason the run game looked better today, when I was going back and watching the replays after each play, a lot of them was either Gray Zabel pulling or Gray and Cross leading on the left side. I don't think they're Hutch and Walter Jones over there by any stretch, but it seems like there's a potential for them to be an above average left side of a line.
Yeah, it's funny you mention that. I just turned in my story that's going to go up on The Athletic today. And yeah, I kept noting all the big runs were on the left. Now I'd have to see like the exact schematics of it, but like the touchdown run Halani had earlier in practice was to the left. I think that was with the second team O-line though, but like the first team O-line had a big run in a team period. I'm looking at my notes right now. I think it got marked down of like a 10-yard gain, but that's like assuming J Love makes a really good open field tackle on Halani. J Love couldn't do that. That's probably why the ref was like, okay, it's down. But like, there's certainly a world where Halani just takes that to the house if he wins the foot race against Spoon. So like that was to the left as well. I was kind of noticing that going through my notes today. I was like, oh, the left side, hey, kicking ass a little bit. So yeah, I think that that's not a coincidence. And you know what? They could have a year, like I said, they're not Jones and Hutch, but they could have a year, I think, where it is as simple as like, let's try to just run to the left as often as we can because that's where we're good. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. I thought the Niners used to spam that a little bit as well, because they had Trump. It's like, let's hit it over here. And I think you got to do that. You kind of see the Lions weaponizing their O line in that same way. Sometimes they're like, "Yo, man, Pane's on it." So whatever we got to do to make him the point of attack on insert run here, we're gonna do it. Like I think that the light bulb might turn on there for Clinton and Benton too, where it's just like, yeah, right side is cool, but like 76 and 67 are going to lead us to the promised land. So let's just build as much stuff as we can to get them at the point of attack, whether we're pulling, running that way, whatever it may be. So yeah, today I'm with you. They had a good day.
Rob, this gets to me. The last thing we're probably going to talk about, last couple minutes, is quarterback. And the question that everybody had going into this training camp was, how's Sam Darnold going to look? And as we're talking about the 2005 Seahawks, we all talk about Sean Alexander and Walter Jones and Steve Hutchinson. Do you have a recollection of what Matt Hasselbeck's stat line was, what his touchdown to interception ratio was, and what his rating was? Because I have it in front of me, I'll tell you, but I'm curious. Do you have a feel for what it was?
I can remember being really amazed by Russell Wilson's quarterback rating, early in his career and how he was sort of around that 100 mark consistently. So I'm guessing Matt Hasselbeck was probably in the low 90s, and then my memory of watching Matt Hasselbeck play was that he was more of a like 25 touchdown, 12, 13 interception type quarterback. So I can't wait to hear what the reality was.
That's a pretty good guess. So he had a 98.2 rating, which is not super high. It's fine. It's good. And he had 24 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. And so like, it does feel like that's the style of quarterback play. Like everyone's like, oh, is Sam going to have 35 touchdowns again? I'm not sure that this offense is going to be a 35 touchdown passing offense. But Mike, through the first week, what's your current perspective? Is the arrow pointing up or down on Sam Darnold?
I think the quarterbacks in general are just having a little bit tougher time now that the pads are on, because this is when the D line's ripping it a little bit more. Because I feel like they're taking it easy on their guys up front on the O line. Because like, man, I'm not about to hit you with a bunch of spin moves while we're in our draws. I'm not about to do that. But now it's like, oh, it's on. Let's show up. And I think anecdotally, it feels like the quarterbacks have played a little worse the last couple of days. Like there were some good throws today, but even just charting it, there were 3 picks today as well. One of them, the last one by Jalen Milroe, was because of pressure right in his face. Right away. But I think overall Sam's doing okay, but I think I'm a arrow down just because the defense is turning up on them in a way that was expected when the pads, came on. Like the decisions don't seem to be as sharp. Like Jalen's first pick today in 7-on-7, that was the bad throw. AJ Finley just jumped all over it. It was late. Drew Lock's pick today, that Pritchett guy, that was awful. It was an awful decision.
It was a bad
traffic.
decision.
It was across his body. Like it was an early down too, so you didn't have to force that. It was just awful, And I think that's what happens when the pressure starts to get to you. Like and that's one of my characteristics for quarterbacks is I need you to be a good decision maker, I need you to be accurate, and I need you to be tough. That's a very important part. The only thing I really think that's good about this little quarterback show on Netflix is that we get the microphones on when they get hit, and they're showing that. That stuff is painful. It's hard to peel yourself up off the turf and keep making those throws. And so, yes, I expect training camp to be sharp because can't nobody hit you. But even in the instances where the defense is just ramping it up a little bit more, we're seeing guys make mistakes, more mistakes than they were the first couple of days. So, yeah, I think arrow down for the offense in general, arrow up for the defense, which through 6 weeks doesn't feel all that surprising given the offseason that they have.
Rob, if you had to pick one aspect of Sam Darnold's game that has to be, you can only pick one thing to be good this year. You can pick it statistically. You can pick it from an aspect of his game. What do you think is most important that Sam Darnold's good at this year in order to allow the Seahawks offense to be good?
I mean, you just obvious things like third downs and the red zone. I just think that the running games, they are going to try and feature it. And then it is going to be sort of those key moments in a game where, it's not necessarily 3rd and 1 or 2 because they're probably going to run the ball, but 3rd and 10, can he extend a drive? Can he play well in the red zone and not turn the ball over? You're quite right. I don't think I had a look, and Jimmy Garoppolo is a different kind of player. I don't think he's as physically talented as Sam Darnold. His most touchdowns in a season under Shanahan was 27. So is that the kind of range, the max range for Sam Darnold in this offense? Maybe it is. I suppose it is also worth noting that in terms of big time throws, I think Darnold, I'm looking at the list now, he was 4th in the league last year. So that's just behind Lamar Jackson, just ahead of Justin Herbert and Geno. So he has got that within him. Whether that was the system he was in Minnesota and Justin Jefferson, that's always helps when you've got somebody like that. But I think it's an obvious answer. It's the red zone. It's going to be third downs, and he's going to have to be elusive. If the offensive line is not going to be amazing, he's going to have to be able to move around and extend plays. That's a big part of the modern NFL. If Seattle had a sure thing at quarterback, they'd be amongst the Super Bowl favorites with that defense.
Yep.
Probably.
Yep.
They don't. They have a question mark. So it's up to Sam Darnold to show, listen, I may never be an elite quarterback, but what I can be is what a serviceable quarterback like Shanahan has had with Purdy and Garoppolo, to the extent that you can help facilitate a Super Bowl run. And if you can do that in the future, then it'll be money well spent. If you can't, you're going to be keeping looking for somebody who can do that job.
All right. Last thing is a quick prediction from both of you. The Seahawks have been mixing it up on the offensive line. Players playing different positions, different units, play by play, let alone day by day. By the time we come back for this show next week, will they have settled in to at least starting 5 that they're going to start working toward for this first preseason game and going into the season? Rob, I'll start with you. Yes or no, they will have settled on that?
I'm going to say no.
Mike?
Yes, I think it'll be from left to right, Charles, Gray, Olu, Christian, Abe by this time next week.
He's even calling it out. I will join that party and say, yes, I think they will. And I think it's going to be the same thing that Mike said. I'm going to go with Jalen Sundell at right guard is my current bet. So that'll be fun. We'll have something to talk about. Rob, anything coming up for you that people should check out on your channel?
No, but Curtis Allen is at training camp, and he's doing some write-ups for us at SeattleStrapblog.com, and he's doing a great job. I'm going to find some time to do some writing and some scouting this week. So I check out SeattleStrapblog.com for that, and Rob Staten Football for any streams that we do. And Mike, you've got stuff coming out in The Athletic all the time. Anything people should check out that you've either already written or that's coming out soon?
I'm actually just going to keep plugging my book in this portion of the franchise, the Seattle Seahawks, a curated history of the Legion of Boom era, available via pre-order wherever books are sold. Please check that out. Thank you.
It's very cool. It's very cool. Make sure you do check it out. And you guys know you can find all my stuff at Hawk Blogger. Daily shows continuing. So we will see you all. And then next week at 5 o'clock Pacific time, next Tuesday, Annabelle Hasselback will make her debut on the show. We'll have the quad box going, and we will be back with you. Make sure you tell everybody about the Seahawks Collective. Like, subscribe, click the bell to get notified. We will see you all very soon. Until then, take care.